and move on to GRIPTION TF.
We're going to go very high level on the Sawbones video, but for more information, please check out the GRIPTION TF iApp for the iPad. That goes through a lot of this information in a lot more detail. So the first step that you want to do is you want to ream the acetabulum to get down to good bleeding bone. As you can see, there is a superior defect, and this is where the augment's going to go. The next step is to take the appropriate size pinnacle shell trowel, and you can use this angled handle that we have as well. Or you can take your standard pinnacle handle to insert your pinnacle trowel. Please note with this handle, it allows for 70 degrees of rotation in any direction to allow for the handle to be out of the way in preparing for the augment.
So once your trowel is inserted in the acetabulum, you can use the finishing rasp to prepare the defect for the augment. These rasps fit size for size with the pinnacle shell trowels in order to make sure that there's a very close fit between the cup and the augment. So this fits into the superior defect to prepare that bone. This power adapter comes in the instrument kit and fits with a striker reciprocating saw. To attach the adapter, twist the tip and insert the flat portion into the tip. Next, you want to attach your finishing rasp to the universal handle. This works with a button mechanism. Depress the button and insert the finishing rasp, making sure that it clicks to let you know it's secure. Using the same button mechanism, connect the universal handle to the reciprocating saw adapter.
If your surgeon does not like to use the reciprocating power for the finishing rasps, what you can do is attach a strike pad to the end of your universal handle. Again, push button design, fits on, hear the click, and now they can use a hand power with a mallet to prepare for their augment. The finishing rasp comes in 4 different thicknesses. This is a 50 millimeter by 10 rasp. They come in 10, 15, 20, and 30 millimeter thicknesses. The sizing also goes every 4 millimeters in diameter. So you have a 50, 54, 58, 62, 66, and 70 millimeter augment sizing. So in order to prepare for your augment, the trowel is in place. Becky's already gone over the finishing rasp and how the inner diameter matches perfectly with the outer diameter of the pinnacle trowel. And then using the striker reciprocating saw, we rasp out for the augment. You start small and work your way up. If the 10 millimeter augment is not adequate, then you move to the 15, 20, and 30. One thing I wanted to show was the roughened surface that the rasp makes. This allows for wonderful interdigitation within that good cancellous material into the GRIPTION TF augment. Also, because we are truly preparing the acetabulum for the augment, we are maximizing the contact region of the GRIPTION TF augment with that good cancellous material. Once you prepare your augment, it's now time to trial. All the trials are color-coded by thickness. Green is 10, blue is 15, orange is 20, and purple is 30. As you can see, the trowel sits exactly where the rasp fit. If the rasp is up, sits higher than the defect, that's absolutely fine.
Once you've completed your trialing process, you can use the same universal handle and strike plate to insert your implant. So simply use the push button to secure the strike plate to the handle. You can use one of the inserter adapters to implant your augment. One fits on the inner diameter and one fits on the top. So if you choose to use the adapter that fits on the inner diameter, it mates like this. And if you use the one that fits on the top, it fits this way.
So as you can see, Becky has the attachment on to impact on the inner diameter, but also once you impact that in and get the good interdigitation along the outer surface of that augment, we have drill pins within the set. These drill pins come in variable lengths, but what they can do is they can assist in holding down the augment before you can get your screw fixation. By utilizing the augment first technique, you maintain the ability to use your inner diameter screws for fixation. Utilize your standard 3.8 drill bit and drill guide. After you drill to the appropriate depth, use your depth guide provided within the set. Then you take your standard pinnacle screwdriver to insert the screw to the desired depth. We're utilizing a 5.5 polyax screw. You can also use a locking or a non-locking screw. This is the locking edition. Insert the screw until it becomes flush with your hole. Once you have adequate screw fixation, then you can take out your drill pins on your superior surface. These drill pins could be utilized in the inner diameter holes if you needed to. Also, I want to point out this oblong slot in the middle. That allows for screw fixation from the acetabular cup through the pinnacle shell into that slot for an uncemented fixation from the augment to the cup. Use your depth gauge. Measure adequately for your screw. Insert your screw. Insert the screw until it's flush with the top of your surface. So once your augment is in place, you then insert your pinnacle shell. You can use any pinnacle shell you'd like, whether it's the multi-hole, whether it's sector, whether it's pinnacle revision, whatever your surgeon feels most comfortable with. Next, what you can do, if you want to use the uncemented option, is you take your standard pinnacle bone screw, match it up with an existing hole through your multi-hole shell, please ensure that your pinnacle bone screw is fully sealed within the acetabulum before you insert your liner.
If you'd like to use a cemented fixation, put a dab of cement at this surface and the outer surface of the cup to get fixation that way. Then the augment can be inserted, and utilizing the inserter that mates with the top holes, tap the augment into place. So as done previously, if you'd like supplemental fixation while preparing the augment, you can use the drill pins. Utilizing the same drill bit and drill guide, drill your hole for your locking screw. Then with the depth gauge, measure the depth of your drilled hole. Continue to seat the screw until the head is flush with the augment.
It's important to note that you do not have to use a locking or non-locking screws. It is up to the surgeon whether they use the locking or non-locking 5.5 screws. The surgeon also does not have to use every single screw hole option. If they want to use just one and have a stable construct, that's absolutely fine. Or if there's adequate bone, they can fill up every single screw hole available. It's also important to realize that if you use the cut first technique, you do not have the ability to use your inner diameter screws at this time. Another option we have is the modular rasps. The modular rasps actually use a pinnacle half trowel that has this dovetail slot on it. What happens here is you insert your trowel after you've reamed, and you use the modular rasps, which has the same tooth pattern of the finishing rasps. What this does though, again with the dovetail slot here, it allows you to base your rasping off of the center of rotation, similar to the old SROM double bubble cup. So as you can see, You would rasp in this linear fashion for a 10. If you want to use a 15, we have shims that you can add to. Which allow you to get that additional offset. 15. 20. And your 30mm offset. This is just one more option you have to prepare the acetabulum for the augment. And that was Sawbones for GRIPTION TF. Back to the studio.